Hey guys, and welcome back to the Movie-Club Emporium. It's a brand new year, it's a brand new set, and we're talking about some of my favorite movies, and that is 90's Schlock, where the flannel was bright and poppin', the rock was alt, and our pants were so big 3 people could wear them at the same time. So let's get into the 90's Schlock with a personal nostalgic bomb for myself. It's 1990's Crash and Burn. This is a full moon feature directed by Charles Band, the man behind some of the best weird direct-to-video movies you've ever seen from the 80s and 90s, both under Empire Pictures as well as Full Moon Pictures, with the Puppet Master series, the Subspecies series, Evil Bong series, the one where Gary Busey's a killer cookie. That's where we're at. So this is a movie from 1990. It stars starting off the year right with Annunciation, starring Paul Gannis, Megan Ward, and Bill Moseley. And it's Bill Moseley at his most Bill Moseleyest. Again, this is a classic full moon feature. Full Moon, for those of you who aren't in the know, were a huge part of our teenage years, because there were so many of those movies that were just in video stores. Again, the Puppet Master movies, movies like Arcade, Meridian, which was like the weird erotic, Beauty and the Beast, Netherworld, Oblivion. Like, there's just so many movies I could. In fact, very famously, Nick had a DVD of Blood Dolls. Because a running motif of some of the full moon movies are small things that will kill you. And he had a Blood Dolls DVD, which the movie was whatever. The movie kind of sucked. But on the reverse side, back when they had reversible discs, the kids used to on DVDs, they would have movies on one side and then like supplemental stuff on the other. And we would flip them. There was even a time when they tried that with actual like music CDs and it failed miserably. Shout out to those of you who still own a dual disc. But on the reverse side was just like hours. It was like 200 and something trailers of just full moon movies. And I watched Blood Dolls maybe a total of 2 times. But I watched those trailers forever. Like, they were just the coolest, weird, direct-to-video, cheapo movies. Again, like, you have, like, the classic full moon movies, like Castle Freak, again, the Subspecies movies, even some of the Empire movies, like Robot Jocks, Robot Wars, The Dungeon Master, Dolls, movies like that. But then again, at full moon, it became like the Blood Dolls and the one where the radio say there's an alien DJ who shrinks people, and the Shrunken Head movie, and the Puppet Master 1 through like 15 or 16 of those things now. So yeah, the Trancers movies, which are awesome. We'll talk about Trancers, Doll Man. I could go on and on, but we're talking about Crash and Burn here. So let's get into it. This is a post-apocalyptic Terminator meets The Thing ripoff, and it kind of rules. In the future, because the world has been destroyed because, climate change. Back in the 90's, when we kind of cared about it on like a post-apocalyptic level at some point, not fixing it, but just being like, this is probably what caused the problems. Where there's a TV station, a lone government TV station, because everything else has been outlawed. Because there's one thing the government hates: television, which is kind of but thankfully this television station is run by like 6 people, but it's inside of an old factory, because that's where we had them, so we can just run around factory pipes and whatnot. And it turns out another thing that have been outlawed are 3 things: computers, you can't have those. I can't remember what they call them. It's androids, they're outlawed, and so we're getting a little bit of Blade Runner here. And then giant robots, because outside of this old steel mill is this giant dilapidated robot, which is totally just the robot from Robot Jock. But that's okay. And as the gentleman goes up there to take them, whatever their goofy energy is, and it becomes the thing because the main TV guy, who is played by the dad from the Waltons, is murdered, and they have to figure out who it is, and it's kind of the thing because it turns out one of the people there are an android in disguise, because this old man, like Uncle Jesse dude, was secretly part of like the TV resistance. We'll talk later in this month because there's another movie we're going to talk about that involves like TV resistance and the post-apocalypse and who takes over the government. Only that movie is frighteningly more closer to happening than this one. Oh, this one, I mean, whatever. But so yeah, it becomes the thing. There's even a scene where there's a blood test, and we're looking for an evil killer robot. So we're totally in Terminator Town. I will say that it is, yeah, it's just a Terminator and thing ripoff, but we have like this like Chekhov's gun of giant robot outside. I really love this movie. It is 85 minutes long, and yet the middle of this movie is a slog. So prepare for that. There are a lot of wild things in this movie. There's one particular love scene because these movies, we need this stuff to sell these tapes. It's a very tan love scene, like tan, uber tan, like just two footballs. Also, Jack McGee's in this movie, the weird, like, creepy construction worker guy from he was wildly in more than one of those Lethal Weapon movies. He is part of the blood test, and he's actually poisoned by the robot with antifreeze in his bloodstream, and he has a gnarly death. There are also two hookers in this movie, again, because we gotta sell those tapes. So this movie does really have the beast, the three Bs, your Joe Bob three Bs. I will say this, as far as cheap as this movie is, and this movie is super cheap. The makeup effects are done by Greg Canham, who would go on to do things like Bram Stoker's Dracula, some other huge, like, big Hollywood movies, multiple time Oscar winner. The makeup effects in this movie are great. I will tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little spoilers based on this cast. Bill Moseley's the robot, and he's kind of just playing his Otis Driftwood character, a little less hillbilly, but nevertheless more frightening. He looks great in the later stage Terminator makeup. He's so good. He's the best part of this movie. There is a scene that he has as a killer robot with like his face is all like, Terminatored up, gross look, and then he has the love scene, which is really weird. It takes place in the shower, and I know what you're thinking, Jason. He's a robot, and yeah, he is, and yeah, it kills the woman he's with. Exactly how you think it kills the woman he's with. Because this is a full moon, baby. And I will say there are a couple of spots in this movie, again, that kind of my nitpicks, my critiques of this movie is, again, number one, at 85 minutes. This movie is incredibly long-winded. It gets really dragged down in the middle. I watched this on a full moon Blu-ray, because they released a lot of their movies on Blu-rays now. It's still in like full screen mode, so like watching it on a television, a modern day television, it was still super just boxed in, which is like, oh, okay, we're not even gonna bother to widescreen that, huh? Okay. And again, I said that you have the Chekhov's gun of giant robot. We're building to giant robot. there's a point in this movie where you're just screaming, "Where's that giant robot?" And then you do, guess what? You get the giant robot for a total of 3 minutes. And then the giant robot goes away because we're only getting 3 minutes of stop motion. So that's it. This movie even does have the cojones to do a twist. I won't give you away what the twist is, but it's pretty fun. Again, this is a movie that it knows exactly what it is. It was a movie that was made exactly for a video store to walk in on a Friday night, you and a bunch of friends. Oh, sweet. It's got an actor I know from horror movies. It's a ripoff of 2 great movies that I love. And I'm probably going to see some nudity in it. Like, boom, boom, boom. Here's my money. So if you haven't seen Crash and Burn, I'm sure it's streaming on Tubi or Amazon. Or you can pick up the 4x3 standard def Blu-ray. That was another thing. It was still a standard def. It's a high def disc with the standard def movie on it. But go on your way to find it because it's an absolute blast. Definitely brought back a lot of nostalgic memories for me from our days of just consuming all these full moon kind of popcorn trash, little nuggets of candy. And that's what we're gonna be talking about all month long. We're talking 90's schlock. And so I thought, what better way to start than with the full moon movie? Next week, we are going to be talking about a movie that I think is probably the best 90's action movie. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Speed. What about it? We're talking about Live Wire. So you better bring it because we're talking about 1990's Pierce Brosnan, Hachi Machi, and Liquid Dynamite. So come back next week and we'll see you guys then. Bye.